The NHL All-Star break is here, but for me, that means one thing. It means we are a little bit closer to the NHL trade deadline. Now, as we've approached the deadline, we're seeing a lot from fans about what they want the team to do, what they think this team should do, and then we're seeing some other sides of the media who are suggesting maybe the team won't be as aggressive as the fans may want. So, in today's video, we're going to break down what the proper way for the Leafs to approach this trade deadline might be. Welcome back to Third Man In. I'm Zack Phillips, and in today's video, we're going to be discussing all the rumors surrounding this Maple Leafs team as we head into the trade deadline because, yes, it is All-Star Weekend. Yes, we do get a little bit of a break from Leafs hockey, but that doesn't mean it's time to take a break from all the news and stuff surrounding this team with all the players in the NHL, all the media members, all the agents, all the sponsors showing up in the city this week. There's going to be a lot of buzz surrounding this team and what might happen moving forward. And, of course, our friend Elliotte Friedman stirred some things up first a couple of weeks ago and then today or yesterday, whenever you're watching this, in regards to what the Leafs might be looking for. Now, before I get into the topics of today's video, I do want to remind people that if you are watching right now, please hit the like button, subscribe here to the channel, and turn on notifications. Over 60% of the people who watch these videos, subscribe or watch the live streams, watch the watch-alongs, you're not subscribed to the channel. Over 60% of the people are watching and are not subscribed. There's just no reason for that. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications. I do appreciate all the support. Want to continue to grow this thing, get as big as possible. So hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, turn on notifications. Now, let's get into it. There's not too much in terms of concrete news for today. This is a bit more of an opinion piece on what's going on with this Leafs team and my thoughts about how they should approach the deadline. Because first and foremost, we saw a couple of weeks ago Friedman talking about on the 32 Thoughts podcast the fact that he felt like Leafs management and the Leafs organization might not be as aggressive going into this deadline, and there was a possibility that they could be looking at this team and saying, is this a team we really want to go all in on? Is this a team that we're willing to sell assets for and go big and take a massive swing and try to go and win the Stanley Cup this season? That put people into a frenzy where they sat there and said, well, you have Austin Matthews, you have Mitch Marner, John Tavares, William Nylander, whatever. You have to go for it every single year that these guys are here. Now, I kind of disagreed. I still kind of disagree. We'll continue to talk about that in today's video. But then it was followed up by this from Friedman the other day. Here's a tweet from @LeafSeason who pulls a quote from Elliotte's comments on 32 Thoughts, a podcast, where he says, as I always say, and I said it 40 times this year, Toronto's looking at every defenseman in the league. This is what I keep hearing. If there is a defenseman that they like, they're going to try to get him here. Fair enough. This is the same report that we heard before the season, to start the season, a month into the season, 2 months into the season, 3 months. Now we're here 4 months into the season. It's the same report. Surprise, surprise. This Leafs team, who's tried to add defensemen to it every year for the last 7 years, now going on 8 years, is trying to add defensemen. Shocker. I'm not saying this in terms of Elliotte. I'm more just saying we can't be surprised that this is what they're trying to do. This is what the fans want them to do. This is what the media thinks that they should do. This is what rival NHL executives think that they should do. Now you're hearing from insiders that the Leafs are poking around on every D. That's fine. They should be doing that if they're looking to improve their team. Anywhere else would just be foolish, in my opinion. Looking to add or improve in any other area of this team is not going to push you over the top. One thing we've always looked at with this team, the lack of horses on defense. It's not that they're bad defensively or bad defensive group, but it's, do you have that guy who pushes you over the top? And right now it feels like, yeah, you got Morgan Rielly, but who else? What else do you have there? And you're kind of missing that piece, and you've always been missing that piece. So looking at defensemen makes sense. That's fine. That's what they should be doing long-term for this team. But short-term, and especially in regards to this season, when you're going to be talking about should they be going in at the deadline, here's my honest answer. I truly believe the Maple Leafs should not be going all in at the deadline this season. There's a lot of reasons behind this, but the main one being this team is not good enough to win the Stanley Cup. This is an average team. that could potentially go on a run if you get a goaltender who's hot, but you're not really looking at a team that's going to do much damage. You're looking at a team that should be compared to what was essentially like the Minnesota Wild last year, or the New York Islanders, where you are a good team, you're on the outside, you're kind of going to make the playoffs on that bubble area. Maybe you make some minor adjustments, but that's the extent of it. When you're going to sit and look at a team that for the last 4 years has gone all in, trading first, second, third round picks, trading prospects to go out and acquire these rental players at the deadline, it's never paid off. You've always gotten yourself into a situation where they haven't fit with the team, they don't fit with the identity, they don't fit with the chemistry and the character in that room, and then you ultimately lose out in the first round. We are seeing a fundamental issue with the identity of this team right now where they cannot figure it out. Whether it's Treliving to Keefe don't agree, or Keefe to the top 4 don't agree, or the top 4 to the remainder of the roster don't agree, or whatever combination of gong show is going on in there, there is a clear misunderstanding of who and what you are supposed to be and how you're going to be successful in the NHL and actually go further and further into the playoffs. This Leafs team is not currently prepared to go on and win a Stanley Cup. So when I look at this team that effectively feels the exact same, if not worse, than teams that you've had in years past, I don't think that this is an opportunity or a reason for you to be jumping up and down out of your chair and going and trading Fraser Minton, Easton Cowan's first round, second round, third round picks, where you're going to sell the farm, sell off these guys who could be good up and coming players, just because you're thinking, oh, well, we've got a same roster that we went in on last year. I don't care that you have a guy on your team who's scoring potentially 70 goals in the regular season this year. I don't care that you've got a guy who just signed for $11.5 million and is going to be back here next year. I don't care that you've got Mitch Marner on an expiring contract with 1 more year on his deal. I don't care. It's not about that. The entire point of this is that you have not had any type of change of identity or character in this group that would lead you to the point to believe that they have learned anything from their past 7 years of failure in the playoffs. Why would you be going out and wasting picks and prospects that you can utilize to surround these players in the upcoming years, to be around them and have a development system and have players in the farm and have players that you could actually turn into other assets if you so choose to trade later down the line? Why would you risk those opportunities for a mediocre team that you are most likely going to lose in the first, potentially second round here if you get lucky? Depends also who you play in the first round. I don't think that this team is built for it. I don't think that this team is ready. And I feel like this team should get the treatment of the Florida Panthers of last year. Florida went out and made their moves in the offseason. Whether you agree with Treliving's moves or not, he brought in the right types of players that people would be clamoring for at trade deadlines. Max Domi, Tyler Bertuzzi, those are character guys. Simone Benoit, those are the guys you're looking for. Now, when you look at the trade bait board, you're not looking to add on forward, so you'd be looking at defense. Chris Tanev, Jacob Chikrin, those are expensive pieces. Noah Hannafin, expensive piece. Peak, probably not as expensive, but still a little bit more costly than you would like. And Ilya Lyubushkin, guys, really? Ilya Lyubushkin is the piece we're going and getting at this deadline to put you over the top. That's the piece you're going all balls to the wall for, to say we're going to win a Stanley Cup. Outside of that, you're just going to be adding other pieces that come in here, act, play, think like Bertuzzi and Domi, and actually give a shit and want to win. And then the players above them are kind of just showing up, get their cookies, and go home. This Leafs team is not built to win the Stanley Cup. This Leafs team is not prepared to win the Stanley Cup. And at some point here, the messaging might have to be flipped back on them and say, you think you're a contender? You didn't show us for 50 games leading up to the deadline. So, we're not going to risk future. We're not going to risk prospects. We're not going to risk picks in order for you to just go and flame out yet again. We signed you. We made the commitment to you. We bought in on you. And you have not returned that favor back to us in terms of the way you play or being able to spark the rest of the group. It feels the exact same. It feels the exact same that it's felt for the last 7 years. Why would this year be any different? Give them an opportunity to go in there and prove themselves. Do what Florida did last year. You think you're that good, go do that. Or make some tiny Thomas Plekanec type of deal where you bring in the turtleneck at the deadline and he goes into your fourth line, he goes into your third D pair, and it's a minor adjustment or a minor depth add. This is not the year to be going out and selling off first, second, third round picks and prospects. It's just not the year to do it. Leafs fans, let me know in the comments below if you agree or disagree. If you liked the video here today, please hit that like button, subscribe here to the channel, turn on notifications so you get notified every time we go live for post-game reactions, watch-alongs, or more videos just like this one. We do appreciate the support, but that's all for me. Wanted to give my opinion on what's going on and the rumors that you're hearing about the Leafs and how they might approach this deadline. Look forward to reading all the comments, and as always, keep Leafing.